If you're a FNAF fan, you've probably heard of or seen some of Funko's FNAF merch by now, and you've probably heard some people complaining about the, let's just say, interesting choices they've made. Well, today I wanted to look at some of Funko's FNAF lines, and give them a 1 to 10 rating on how much I like them. Keep in mind, this is just my opinion, so feel free to disagree, agree, write a comment on why you feel either or in the comment section. Also, like and subscribe, because it's free and, well, I'd appreciate it. Also, I won't be talking about everything, especially the board games, because that could be its own video on its own, right? Guys do like that. Also, I'm not going over things like cereal or search because I said so. So sit back, relax, and let's begin. Starting off with the plushies, Funko has made many plushies and there's a lot of good and bad to go through. You've got amazing plushie designs like this cupcake one, the sun and moon ones are pretty good, and some of the early waves are good too. Except for you, Chica. But then you have waves like the twisted ones with plushies that look like this and we're okay with these questionable designs. And you have the Stitch Location wave with the cheap printed on fabric and the weird designs, and why is Funtime Freddy staring at me like that? Basically what I'm saying is that the quality control is something that is kind of lacking when it comes to Funko. And we can see this especially with their more popular lines like the plushies and the action figures. But there's also a lot of weird choices like making recolors and just all around bad designs. So I'm gonna rate the plushies a 5 out of 10. The action figures are probably some of the best merchandise that Funko has made for FNAF. Although not all of them are perfect, you can see that Funko really put some effort into making them. Well, except for the Spirit Beast ones. Yeah, they did not really care about them on. They did make some pretty good Sun and Moon figures though. Also, the Rune line was pretty great. And although not perfect, the early waves, despite their imperfections, were pretty decent. But much like the plushies, they have made some weird decisions. And also this circus wave that I don't think is posable that much. Also, you want to know something weird? FNAF 2 was never made into a wave. Yeah, for some reason Funko really looked at the toys and withers and said, nah, fuck that, let's just make some AR skids instead. And it makes me wonder what they were thinking. So anyway, let's give these figures a 7 out of 10. Mystery Minis are next and I honestly love them. I don't have a lot of them, but the ones I do have are pretty adorable and well detailed for how small they are. And I love the diversity when it comes to the characters they choose. Something that some of the other lines are lacking, to be honest. Although not a perfect line, I think it's one of the better products that Funko has made, and I really love the look of them. Especially the newest line they made for the 10th anniversary of FNAF. So I'm gonna give them a 9 out of 10.
I hope she made lots of spaghetti!
Next one I'll be talking about is Hero World, and they're okay. Not a fan of how they're stylized this time around because they just straight up look goofy. The big legs really don't help either. Also, why do they all have the same expression on their faces? Also, small nitpick, why doesn't the Sister Location set have Funtime Foxy in it? I'll give these a 3 out of 10.
God, my Shayla!
I'm gonna go over this next one really quickly, but I honestly really love these Super Racers. They look very cute. I always knew Toy Freddy would be an amazing racist. I'll give these little guys a 9 out of 10. Wait, what do you mean that's not the right term?
I want some ice cream, David!
Next up are these weird little things called pint-sized heroes. Now, I actually don't really know what to say. They look very bad looking, and honestly, if I wasn't a FNAF fan, I wouldn't be able to tell if this is FNAF or not. They all around just look very generic. 1 out of 10.
Miss my wife tails.
Now we are on to Funko Pops, and honestly, a lot of the older ones kind of look the same to me, but the new ones look pretty good, especially the Ruin line. They look amazing. Although the newest line of the Withers don't look that good. But honestly, I'll give these guys a 5 out of 10.
That game was total!
The arcade vinyl figures are some of the most unique figures Funko has made. Although these figures have been in some controversy, because Funko allegedly used stolen models. One of the most notable being this Fredbear one. The model was made by Milmako, who you may know as being the creator of Five Nights at Candy's. Although I did hear he did let them use the model, but I don't know how true that is. But despite that, the figures are still very cute, except for the Flintstone one that one's just straight up ugly. I'm gonna give them a 7 out of 10. The statues are some of the best products that Funko's ever made, well, except for the Foxy one. I think my favorite one's got to be Lefty. I love how the marionette is trying to get out of him. The statues look very good and very detailed. 9 out of 10, the Foxy one is still my least favorite though. Funko Snaps are very unique in style, and honestly, while I'm not a fan of how some of them look, I do have to say some of them are very detailed and good looking. And they have a very unique play feature. That being, you can take their faces and body parts off and switch them with others. I gotta say, I do like some of these guys. I have the Vanny one, which is cute. Also, the Helping one is adorable. I'll give these guys a 7 out of 10. There you have it, the many Funko made lines of FNAF merch. It's honestly surprising how much merchandise Funko has made for FNAF. Like, there's more than I thought, and I hope you learned something today. I sure didn't.